Good morning, everybody. I am Charting Man Dan of the Chart Guys. It is Tuesday, July 18th, 9 a.m. Eastern. We're doing a little bit of an open house here, just an example of what we do at the Chart Guys every day. This is one of 3, sometimes 4 live streams we put on in the morning. So we're going to do a pre-market prep here, show you what I look at on the morning and get ready for some of the setups that I'm watching. And then the bell will ring. We'll keep an eye on how the market progresses for the first 30-60 minutes of the day. This stream will go till 10:30 a.m. and around 9:50 or so I'll start taking some requests from Chart Guys members as far as charts that they are watching as well. So with where we stand right now, pre-market, we've got SPY fairly flat. We have a little bit of a lower open shaping up in SPY and the NASDAQ. Oh, one more reminder. We've got a webinar this Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern, going to be talking about the trading journey, the different phases, and what our expectations should be and what our focuses should be as we make our way through that journey. So, hope to see you all there on Thursday. So looking at the current S&P 500 and NASDAQ futures charts, really, you can look at the futures charts or you can look at SPY and QQQ. There's not a huge difference between the two. I could say the bulls have complete control as long as the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ hold 4-hour EMA 12 support, because that has been holding for both of them for this bull move over the last week of trading. I can also just make it simple and look at SPY and QQQ and just say, all right, we're in a daily stair-step pattern where we've set a higher low every single day for the last 5 days, and I know absolutely nothing is going to change in this market as long as that keeps happening. So for SPY, if the bulls hold 449.08, they keep complete control. And for QQQ, if the bulls hold 379.31, the bulls keep full control. If we lose the stair-step pattern, that tells us daily consolidation is underway. And then from there, we watch our daily high or low and watch to see if the daily uptrend, which has been intact for 2.5 months, if that remains. If daily consolidation begins, we're going to be watching for first hourly oversold conditions. How does the market respond to that? Does that mark the daily high or low? We have a lot of individual names. We're going to look at some of them here in just a moment, where yesterday they hit hourly oversold conditions and they're trying to shape up the daily higher lows off of that. And we know that that's an indication of a strong uptrend when those back burner trades mark the higher lows on the longer term timeframes. So SPY and QQQ is all bull control at the moment. And with where we currently stand pre-market, it is looking like SPY is a little bit weaker in the sense that if we are going to break the lows of yesterday, SPY would be first to do it, because SPY right now is $1.20 above its low of yesterday, which is, 0.25%, whereas QQQ is currently $2.50 above that low, more like 0.6%. So we'll see if the bears are able to prove anything to us in the short term. And again, daily consolidation won't be surprising to us, considering we've gone up 5 days in a row, essentially. And daily consolidation. I mean, look back here, this time on QQQ, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row. Daily consolidation, set the higher low, and then uptrend continuation. So keeping an eye out for daily consolidation and then watching for a daily higher low to try and form as a result. As we know, we've got earnings tomorrow in Tesla and Netflix. That's going to have an impact on the market in the short term, and peers as well, whether it's Disney or NIO. So we'll be keeping an eye on the reaction to those names. The dollar is attempting to hold a double bottom here. It was a daily bear flag on a weak bounce, and there's a good bit of volatility in the dollar and in metals pre-market right now. If you look at, again, it's a double bottom right now on the dollar, and it's a pretty decent bounce off the lows. 5-minute higher low is trying to form. If the bulls confirm a 5-minute uptrend, then that double bottom becomes a good bit more convincing. And then we'll be looking back to the bounce high of 118 as a key resistance level. So it's a failed bear flag at the moment on the dollar. And you look at the metals, gold has been all over the place here. Big spike, gave it all back. Big spike, give it back. And really just a 5-minute equilibrium is shaping up. And if the dollar confirms that 5-minute uptrend, we would anticipate that gold would likely shape up 4-hour consolidation, just because it's a 4-hour stair-step pattern at this point, the last 5 candles. And we would look for a 4-hour higher low to be the result of that consolidation. But daily bull flag is confirmed. So a gold bull flag confirmed, but a dollar bear flag has not confirmed. So just keeping an eye on the relationship between the two. And I personally have been swing trading a lot more this summer and having that as a bit of a focus to try and get better at it over the last couple of years. And so I grabbed some swing positions yesterday in the solar sector, which we'll look at in just a moment, but also the metals. I grabbed some gold and silver just in case this was a daily bull flag, and going to be keeping an eye on the long-term monthly cup and handle attempt on gold. We're going to be talking about gold a lot for the rest of the summer. And as far as today's trading is concerned, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of day trading in the first hour, and I'm going to be watching for a couple swing trade potential entries, which I will talk about in just a moment as well. So silver, daily bull flag, trying to confirm, but not as convincing as gold. Silver has been stronger on the way up. You can see it's pretty much a double top at the high at the moment, and it's got the same 5-minute volatility that gold is currently seeing. So again, not going to see a whole lot of follow through on the bull flags on silver and gold if we don't see the dollar bear flag confirm. The miners testing resistance. So GDX 3240 is the highest level we've seen. We're going to test that right away to try and confirm the daily bull flag. But again, metal and miner bulls want to see dollar weak. And right now the dollar is attempting to hold support. Oil, I'm switching to the September's futures contract for CLU. That's where the volume is now. So oil is trying to shape up a daily high or low with a lot of space for it to form. Ideally, the bulls want to hold EMA 12. It's currently an inside bar, and we need to see a 4-hour trend change for confidence that the daily high or low is being set. And so right now, just a whole bunch of sideways trading yesterday into today. So no indication that the daily high or low is being set just yet. But with the size of the candle yesterday, the bulls are just hoping for an inside bar. Just hold that low of yesterday and then try and break the inside bar bullish tomorrow with the inventory report tomorrow. Natural gas. So bull day here. So I am now watching this falling wedge. And it was essentially saying, all right, if we get a bounce going from here after a daily lower low, it'll be a bear break with no follow through that will have me watching for the wedge. And the reason I'm watching for a 12-hour falling wedge is because a weekly higher low is the most likely scenario on natural gas. So this is now my guide for the rest of the week. And anything under 275 would just be a lower high. And so watching to see if this falling wedge shapes up, because if this were to break bull, that would be the first indication that a weekly higher low in natural gas were shaping up. And on that note with commodities, talking about CCJ, uranium, this is one of the plays, right now I'm a bit swamped as far as the amount of names that I'm watching. And, on my Fidelity screen here, I have a whole bunch of space for a lot of tickers, but I'm finding myself running out of space and having to, cut some names of who I'm watching and put some other names. And CCJ is one of them. And so it's probably maybe the third play that I'm watching for today. I'll talk about the other two in just a moment. But the play here, as I mentioned in the, yesterday, the theme of yesterday is there's a whole bunch of names that reject from resistance and then form bull flags and break. And there's a whole bunch of these setups still taking shape. And so CCJ is trying to do that where we failed resistance by less than 1%. And now it's trying the daily bull flag. So if CCJ can break the high of yesterday, 3180, that would then be an indication the daily high or low is set, and that now gives us a nice and clear stop loss to be going off of. Because if 3118 breaks from that point, that would tell us it's probably not a bull flag. And so as far as risk and reward is concerned, I always love when my risk is nice and close nearby. My stop loss is nice and close nearby to keep that risk nice and small and have that reward larger than that risk. So essentially, if I'm looking to be an aggressive bull trying for a daily bull flag, if 3180 breaks, 3118 then becomes the must hold level and the level to be watching for a potential stop. And then from there, the bulls would hope to break that double top, which would get us to decade highs if we break 33. So CCJ is on watch as long as daily EMA 12 is support, keeping that daily consolidation healthy. Bitcoin is currently testing the low of yesterday. My simple statement for Bitcoin has been if the 4-hour EMA 12 is resistance, the bears have complete control. And that is certainly the case over the last couple of days. And if we break this support level of 29.6, 29.4 is the lowest level we've seen in about 3.5 weeks. And then there's not a ton of support under those levels. And one thing that we've been seeing while we've been range bound is bull breaks with no follow through, and bear breaks with no follow through. But we saw some weakness in the crypto stocks yesterday, and some of the day trades I took yesterday was short these names. And so we're looking at MARA testing the low of yesterday, first thing, 1695, potentially a small gap down open. And keeping an eye on the RSI, the hourly RSI got right down to oversold yesterday. And if we see daily EMA 12 come into play, I'm going to start having some interest. But you've got to be keeping an eye on Bitcoin, of course, because if Bitcoin is dropping, then those crypto stocks are going to keep dropping as well. So I'm watching to see, number one, or two things. Can Bitcoin hold this support level and shift the 15-minute trend with a convincing double bottom? That would have us looking for a crypto stock bounce. And if we break bear and see no follow through, that would have me looking for a crypto stock bounce. And as far as bear entries on the crypto stocks, probably going to not be comfortable unless it's an hourly lower high at this point. So for MARA, if I'm going to like the risk to reward of a bear entry, I would want to see a bounce to scout the hourly lower high, which is what we saw first thing yesterday morning. A bounce that set an hourly lower high, and then bears controlled the day from there. So Riot is the same thing. Riot is seeing a small gap down open, has not hit hourly oversold yet. So technically it would be a back burner. First hourly oversold conditions, scouting a daily higher low, tons of space for that daily higher low to form. And again, I only like the bear entries after an hourly bounce from these levels. I don't like shorting a gap down open. And Coin was a daily inside bar yesterday, another crypto name. If that breaks bear, which would be a bear break of 103.50, which is looking like it'll be tested first thing. If 103.50 breaks, 101.22 is a support level. And again, a ton of space for a daily higher low to be the result of this pullback. So bears have short-term control of these crypto stocks, but still watching for daily higher lows to be the most likely result of the current consolidation. And as we know, these names have been bringing great volatility on a daily basis, many times in both directions. So if I am looking for a day trade, they are always one of the first names that I'll pull up and take a look at to see if there's anything that stands out to me. So some of the setups that I'm looking for potential swing trades, as I mentioned, CCJ is maybe the third one that I'm keeping an eye on. Some of the other ones, AI. So AI, I've been anticipating a 2-day equilibrium is the more likely scenario with this current setup. And so we set the 2-day lower high. And now we're looking for a 2-day higher low, anything above 31.57. And the reason I'm using the 2-day time frame is it's just a little bit more clear for me. It smooths out the wicks from these days here. And so I like the 2-day time frame. And so for me, a 2-day higher low is the most likely scenario. And we also have a couple bullish factors. The fact that NVDA, which we'll talk about a bit later, but the fact that it just came off an all-time high on Friday, and PLTR confirmed its weekly bull flag and is seeing a gap up open this morning. PLTR is currently our lead AI bull, just hitting the highest level in, I think we're back to 52-week highs here. Weekly bull flag confirmed, daily uptrend, hourly uptrend. So, we're not buying a gap up open, but we can be watching for hourly consolidation and look for entries on hourly higher lows, as PLTR has a nice uptrend and is definitely a strong AI name. So couple other bullish peers and watching to see if AI can set an hourly higher low, anything above 36.45 this morning, and break 40.25 and 40.29, which is a little double top from Friday and yesterday. And that would be the indication that the 2-day higher low is being set at 36.45. So an aggressive bull is going to be looking for an hourly higher low entry. And again, this is an example of wanting a stop level close by. So if I'm entering, let's just say I enter at 38.50. Well, where's my stop? 36.45 is the support. That's way far away. I would rather see some morning bull action and then say, all right, that's got to be the hourly higher low, or I am wrong, and then use 38.70 as the stop, because that is either the hourly uptrend confirming and I'm right, or we fail resistance, break that support, and I would be wrong that the 2-day higher low is shaping up at that point. So that's something I'm keeping an eye on. Again, I want to see the first 10, 15 minutes of the morning play out and see if we get a clear new hourly support level to be going off of. But that is one thing that I'm watching for AI to shape up a 2-day higher low. Another name that I'm watching is KRE Regional Banks. And why I'm watching here is, again, that same setup of a rejection from resistance into a bull flag attempt. And so yesterday was a daily inside bar. And if we break 44.17, it's an inside bar bull break. And then we got to break 44.56 to confirm continuation. But the reason I like it here is look at all this resistance in the 44s. It's a tough zone that the bears have been defending. We can just call pretty much all of 44. 44 to 45 is a resistant zone where we have rejected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 distinct times. And so if we clear that level, the thought process would be some shorts would be covering, and that would be an indication that the bulls have some momentum for further follow through on this monthly bounce. So I'm watching KRE for anything above the low of yesterday to be an hourly higher low. And then we need to see those bulls head back towards those resistance levels in the 44s. So watching KRE for a daily bull flag attempt as well. There's a couple setups that I'm keeping an eye out for bigger picture equilibriums. And Netflix, again, we know we have earnings on Wednesday, but I'm watching the 2-day equilibrium, high and low of Friday, lower high, higher low yesterday. I would call anything under 456.68 as another hourly lower high for a potential tightening range to continue, and then watching to see if this tightening range breaks today. And if it doesn't, then it would very likely break tomorrow before those earnings after hours. But I just like the clarity of a bigger picture, volatile day that then leads to an equilibrium. And both Netflix and NVDA have the possibility here. NVDA looks a little bit different. We got the high and low, very wide range of Friday. And now I would call anything under 480.88 as a lower high. This one I'm pretty much watching on the 4-hour time frame to see if a tightening range is going to shape up. So I'm keeping an eye out for a lower high compared to 481 essentially. And if that happens, then we'll look for an hourly higher low, anything above 453, and for a continued tightening range there. But we're currently about 3% below that resistance level. So even if, the bell rings and the bulls show up for a push up into the 470s, still watching for that to be a possibility. Just because, again, the size of that pullback, wouldn't be surprised to see if after a significant bounce, we still set the lower high and shape up that tightening range. So an aggressive bear, and again, it's only the most aggressive bears. Generally, we don't want to be fighting names that are in blue sky breakouts. But just keeping an eye out for the potential of an hourly lower high on NVDA and a continued tightening range from there. Checking in on the solar sector, again, made entries yesterday. I'm not really going to be doing anything in the solar sector today unless there were, some kind of major red flag. But wanting to see TAN break 74.12 and 74.28 to get to the highest level in the last couple of months. And then we have a gap fill at 75.56 to be watching. And the individual names are seeing the strength, obviously, as the ETF saw the strength yesterday with those individual names. But I'm just keeping an eye on TAN because, again, there's so many things to watch in the market right now that I've only got the brain capacity for one individual name here for the solar sector. So I'm just simplifying it and using TAN. And anything above the low of yesterday will be an hourly higher low. And not much liquidity in pre-market, so hard to get a gauge of how we're going to shape up first thing. But 74.28, want to see that level break for this bull trade to continue working out. So we did the metals, we went over the swing trades I'm looking at, crypto stocks, AI names, ARKK. Actually, let's go MNMD. So this is for the low cap volatility lovers, and this is a psychedelic penny stock, essentially. And daily higher low set from hourly oversold conditions right off daily EMA 12. Again, that is your ideal setup. 5-minute oversold off hourly EMA 12 to set an hourly higher low shows you strength in an uptrend. Hourly oversold for a daily higher low off daily EMA 12 shows you strength in an uptrend. Those are why we look for backburners in trending markets. And so MNMD set that daily higher low and is now looking at 445 resistance in play this morning, as there's some decent pre-market volume here. You can see it's more pre-market volume than we've seen the last week or so. So gap up open there, and 445 is in play. And if we break 445, we're back to the 52-week highs looking at a gap fill of 577. So I like this name due to the lack of overhead resistance, and it's not very liquid. There's not a ton of volume traded. Your average volume here is 2.8 million, and generally that's not enough for me, but I made an exception just because I've been watching this name for so long. And my position size is definitely smaller, and my entry was back here. Talked about this in the weekend video 2 weeks ago, but took some profit above 4 and didn't reload that profit taking, but smaller position size accounting for the volume and volatility. But again, just watching to see if bulls can open things up a bit, because if the volume does come in, if we get a $5-10 million day, it can move. So new key support level, I'm going to walk up my stop. So if 391 breaks, I will be out this swing trade, my remaining swing trade position. But also peers, ATAI, same thing, very small cap name, but daily higher low set off EMA 12, trying to see the continuation move. And CMPS is the sector leader. It's trying to be a laggard for a daily higher low, and it's got this weekly forever tightening range that still does not have a convincing break. So keeping an eye out to see if and when that eventually breaks, as we've been tightening up at this point for the entire year. So just keeping an eye on the psychedelic sector. Again, extremely high volatility. That's pretty much the highest risk and reward sector that I keep an eye on. But liking how the names are responding to daily EMA 12 support there. On to Tesla, and then we'll look at some big tech names. So Tesla is a lead bull. Reason being, again, look at just daily EMA 12 right off of it. Hourly RSI hits oversold. That marks the daily higher low. Bulls follow through 10% plus. It's just the classic bull market of how these different indicators line up. And so we're looking at earnings on Wednesday. Bulls are going to try and run into those earnings. And we have a lack of resistance here until 300 psychological. So we're going to test the high of yesterday first thing at 292.23. If that level breaks, again, just looking at psychological levels up to 300. If we were to fail that level, key support for me is 285.36, a little hourly higher low. And that's just the full bull control guide. If the bulls can keep the hourly uptrend going, then they keep full control as long as those hourly higher lows keep forming. So once they're lost, it stands out and gives us a little bit of a red flag. So the simple statement is if 285.36 is holding on Tesla, the hourly uptrend is intact, and those bulls are keeping their complete control. So we can say Tesla bulls positioned well if the NASDAQ bulls are able to keep their control. Just checking in on some bid and asks here. KRE just got a little bit of a bump pre-market. So we're going to test that high of yesterday. First thing, 44.17. Another thing with KRE is, as I just mentioned for Netflix and NVDA, that wide range from the drop on Friday morning, KRE has that as well. So if we fail 44.72, I would be viewing this as a longer-term hourly equilibrium. And that's a possible setup as well that may keep me a bit patient looking for that swing trade attempt on that daily bull flag attempt. So big tech names, Apple's going to be testing the all-time high today, and that all-time high is 194.48. And on the hourly, and the daily chart, we could see the pre-market relative strength yesterday morning, and that's worth paying attention to. Oftentimes, pre-market relative strength or relative weakness follows through for the morning, and Apple was a good example of that yesterday. It was gapping up, and the vast majority of NASDAQ names were not close to gapping up. But one thing I want to mention here, and something that probably, I took as a key signal late in my trading career. I mean, I'm 13 years in. I'd say probably like 8 or 9 years in is when I started paying attention to a failed move in one direction where it should follow through being a signal to look in the other direction. And what I mean by that is essentially like, a daily bull flag, if it confirms with zero follow through and then starts consolidating, that's an indication to scout the other direction. And so this would be an example where Apple on Friday, inside bar Thursday, bear break on Friday, and just zero follow through. We broke support by 15 cents. And so that's a bear break that should lead to daily consolidation that didn't. And then it's just that jujitsu turnaround of bull strength. So one thing I would suggest, if you're in your third plus year of trading, and all of your trading journeys are much faster than mine, just because of the resources available, and me 5 years is you in 1 or 2 years, hopefully. But if you're on year 3 plus, I would suggest starting to pay attention to that. Failed signals that should go in one direction but don't, being an indication to look in the other direction. So Apple hourly uptrend guide, anything above 192.40 is an hourly high or low. And again, just hourly uptrend. Keep it simple. If the hourly uptrend remains intact, the bulls have complete control. Microsoft has a double top. And again, it's another one of these setups. There's just so many of them, of a resistance rejection, trying to bull flag and break a double top. And so Microsoft is going to be testing the high of yesterday first thing. If 347 breaks, the daily high or low is set, and the bulls are going to then try for the bull flag to break the double top. It's just, there's so many of these setups on so many time frames right now. A bunch of them have already confirmed. A bunch of them have yet to confirm. And it's just like, now that I've seen a few of them, I'm just seeing them everywhere. And Microsoft, this is the first time in this moment that I'm realizing, oh yeah, that's the same setup as well. Amazon. Nope. Amazon. Daily consolidation started yesterday. And we have a small gap down open. So again, this is a perfect example of intra-sector rotation. Amazon led last week. Apple was sideways for a good bit of last week. Apple big bull day yesterday. Amazon red consolidation day yesterday. It's just perfect. The two very important names in the NASDAQ, and they're going in opposite directions to help offset each other. It's almost like tag team. I just imagine, two wrestlers, Amazon and Apple, and Amazon from last week is tired. It needs a breather. So it tags in Apple. It goes to the side of the ring and is able to catch its breath, and Apple has a go. And that's just the analogy for rotation. We've been seeing it among our major sectors, and we're seeing it among major names within sectors as well. So Amazon's going to be looking for a daily high or low, anything above 125.92. There is a gap to be watching down at 131.26, but we'll see what the response to first hourly oversold conditions is. Do we see hourly oversold mark a daily high or low? Clear hourly downtrend for Amazon, scouting a daily high or low. Meta is scouting a daily high or low. Simple statement for Meta: if daily EMA 12 is holding, as it has been for the last 2 months, 2.5 months, then the bulls have complete control. So the bulls are trying to set a daily high or low. They're trying to confirm an hourly uptrend by breaking 311.71, the high of yesterday. If they do, the daily high or low is set, and we're looking right back at the high 316.24. And that will give us a new benchmark support level of 304.71 as our bull control guide if the bulls are able to break that high of yesterday level. Google is looking for a daily high or low. Again, same thing. All bulls last week and maybe needing a breather here. So if we break 124.19, the low of yesterday, we look for daily consolidation and we scout a daily high or low with lots of space for it to form. So we got Meta and Google doing different things yesterday. We've got Amazon and Apple doing different things yesterday. And again, just offsetting each other a bit. NIO is another one of the names that is trying to set a daily high or low off EMA 12 from hourly oversold conditions yesterday. Overall, the Chinese names are weaker, but the Chinese EV names are stronger. NIO and XPEV testing their highs of yesterday. XPEV has a gap up open after its double bottom to the penny at 13.58. So a little bit of relative, they switch off. There was relative weakness last week in the Chinese EV names, and now there's a small amount of relative strength as a name like Baba had a decent bounce yesterday, but overnight in China there was weakness, and we're back to testing that low. And if we break that low on Baba, that's not the ideal scenario, because that would mean hourly oversold would not be marking the daily high or low. So it was a nice bounce yesterday, but giving it back as I believe we were down 2% overnight in China. All right, let's get ready for the open right now. So again, watching the daily stair-step pattern on SPY and QQQ, knowing that SPY would likely break bearish first if we're going to see any weakness. Solar sector approaching the high of yesterday. A little bit of weakness. Well, I won't call it weakness, but pulled back a little bit in pre-market there. MNMD bull break first thing of 445, so a lot of strength there. Daily continuation. We'll see if the bulls can show up with abnormal volume because that pre-market volume was a bit abnormal. So QQQ pulling back. XLF. We'll see if it offsets it. Again, oftentimes QQQ and XLF go inverse to each other on the morning. And look at MNMD go. So it's opening things up. Again, that lack of resistance, it just skipped 5%. You got to be real cautious of the lack of liquidity and the bid and the ask spread. But good start. So a decent bit of red out there first thing. Amazon standing out as a lead bear percentage-wise on its drop. Again, getting to hourly oversold conditions right now. Its gap fill is 131.26. Watching AI for that hourly higher low attempt. Need to see the AI bulls shape up a 5-minute uptrend to have any confidence that that hourly higher low is shaping up. And XLF is trying to offset QQQ pulling back here. Both XLF and XLV are up near their high of the day while QQQ is near its low. And again, one thing that we saw yesterday was in theme with the rebalancing, the big QQQ names dropped on the morning and the growth names had strength and benefited. So watching to see if big QQQ names drop again this morning, just like yesterday. Again, watching NVDA for that potential lower high compared to that 481 level and continued tightening range there. We're watching Netflix for its tightening range. Key support is 447.41, not that far away. So a bit cautious on QQQ names. TAN is approaching that resistance, 74.28. KRE bulls testing their high of yesterday right now, 44.17. And one big thing that the bears have been unable to do recently is confirm downtrend. So for QQQ, if I'm looking bearish on any QQQ names, I really want to see a 5-minute lower high and lower low be the result of the next bounce to prove morning control. But I'm personally not going to be looking long in AI as long as QQQ is dropping. But I'm going to keep an eye on it to see if any kind of relative strength shows up. And there is a little bit of relative strength in AI. So KRE, what an aggressive bull is going to do is look for their entry here and now on the morning and just be using that low as a stop. Saying, all right, if 42.76 breaks, I'm wrong. But looking for the break of 44.56 to confirm this daily bull flag. And I think I'm going to make that entry. Could also put a a tight stop near the low of the day, but that's a bit too tight for me. So I'm going to make a KRE entry, stop under that low. And again, I just, measure my position size with, okay, if I stop out, how much is that risk? And for me, I'm ensuring it's a little bit under a day loser if that level were to break, which is just fine as far as risk. So in KRE, stop under 42.76, and target would be ideally 45 plus. I mean, really looking towards the 46s. But there is a resistance zone ahead, so we'll still have some work to do. Solar sector still testing that 74.28, not breaking resistance at the moment. So again, the result of this QQQ bounce from here is going to be key. Do we confirm a 5-minute downtrend as the result of the next bounce or not? Still Amazon as a lead bear. Netflix is trying to remain within its tightening range, holding that hourly support. Still tight on Netflix hourly the last few days. And KRE is testing resistance now, so liking the start here. We just broke 44.39, so daily bull flag confirmed. Now we got to break 44.56. And 44.58 is a level. 44.93 is a little level. QQQ still dropping. So as far as the broader market is concerned, SPY is pretty much flat because XLV and XLF are up near their highs while QQQ is dropping, so they're offsetting each other a bit. And again, that's why I keep harping on watch for when all major sectors drop together. Hasn't happened in months, and it will stand out to us significantly the next time that happens. That low of yesterday on QQQ is 379.31. We're about $1 above it. So solar is rejecting from resistance at the moment. After that big day yesterday, bulls may be a bit too tired to break through. AI does have that relative strength. AI is testing the high of the day here, so it's positioned well if QQQ can find a bottom. And essentially need to have the low of the day be the hourly higher low. And we got, if you look at the 1 minute time frame on AI, we pretty much have a double top and a double bottom right now. So chopping around here first thing. But AI bulls definitely want to see QQQ find a bottom. NVDA is still on the weaker side, as are the crypto stocks. Checking in on Bitcoin. Has it broken the low of yesterday? Nope, not yet. So big drop on NVDA, 5-minute RSI crushed. But again, I'm viewing that as the lower high compared to 481. And now we're watching for a higher low if the bulls can hold 452s. KRE cleared our second resistance level. Keep an eye on CCJ. Testing the high of yesterday. Double top at the moment, trying to shape up that daily high or low. NVDA still a lead bear. You can see that, QQQ is attempting a green 5-minute candle here, and NVDA is ignoring it. Definitely due for a 5-minute oversold bounce on NVDA. But a whole bunch of space for a 5-minute lower high to be the result of that bounce. MNMD is already quickly approaching its 20-day average volume of 700,000 shares traded. We're already approaching 500,000, so we know it's going to be a high volume day. QQQ 5-minute bounce underway. So now it's going to be key. Do we confirm a 5-minute downtrend, or is it just like yesterday where we dropped on the morning, never confirmed the 5-minute downtrend, and bulls took over from there for the rest of the day? If we confirm the 5-minute downtrend, we'll say, okay, this is a bit different than yesterday. Bears have a bit more control. I want to check in on these other psychedelic names. ATAI, CMPS trying to be the lag. CMPS is a laggard. Still no daily high or low convincingly set. Bulls would need to break 940. So one thing that stands out, while QQQ is bouncing pretty decently off the low, 50% retracement, XLF is not dropping. XLF and XLV are still at the high of the day. So that there's not an inverse correlation there. It's favoring bulls. KRE, bulls can be looking to shave a little profit into this morning move if they want to have a cost basis under the low of the day, or, I mean, this is the ideal start, going right through those levels. If I had taken a larger day trade position size, I would be looking to exit partial, but I've just got swing trade size. So QQQ, quick bounce, and that may be a quick 5-minute lower high. Let's see if bears are able to push to a new low of day. AI testing the high of the day again, trying to ignore the QQQ weakness. MNMD back to testing the high of the day, 464. Again, there's a lack of resistance. We're looking up towards 5 psychological. But definitely don't want to chase a low cap name if you don't have a position at this point. Check in on Penn. We've been keeping an eye on Penn the past couple days. There it goes. I was wondering where the bulls were yesterday. Yesterday was a bit of a red flag, but bulls making up for it today. Again, it's that pattern. Resistance, daily EMA 12. Can we get over that level? Penn is trying to be a laggard, not participating at all this year. Trying to break the weekly falling wedge bullish. So today's start tells us, yeah, it's definitely still worth keeping an eye on Penn. And now our clear stop level, 2560, is a must hold. KRE is just cruising. Already approaching the last resistance level in the 44s. Could be watching a KRE 2-minute stair step if you're looking to take some short-term profit. QQQ still battling, trying to hold that low of the day. AI, I missed AI. Nice bull break follow through. Maybe interested in a 5-minute higher low, but the statement for AI is now 38.44 must be the hourly higher low, or it's a red flag. So that is now the stop level. All right, going to take ticker requests from TheChartGuys members. Solar giving that 74.28 level another attempt on TAN. Crypto stocks trying to bounce. Potential 2-minute equilibriums if they fail their high of the day. Bitcoin has to confirm a 15-minute uptrend for any confidence the double bottom can hold. QQQ still chopping around. XLV at the high of the day still for healthcare. NVDA trying to get that 5-minute oversold bounce going. Again, a lot of space for a 5-minute lower high there. AI has to confirm a 5-minute uptrend and break 40.29 for that 2-day higher low setup. Man, KRE. So that's definitely shorts being forced to cover. We're now hitting April, May, June, 3.5 month highs. 46.04 is the next resistance level. QQQ bears did confirm the 5-minute downtrend. Let's see about follow through. Next step would be breaking the low of yesterday. Still about $1 above that level. Again, as I watch QQQ, every time I see it hit new lows, I'm just looking at the other sectors. Any weakness? If the answer is no, then there is rotation going on. Amazon back towards the low of the day. So far in the morning, it's looking like big NASDAQ is weaker. Growth names not doing a whole lot, but IWM is benefiting from the financial sector strength. Metals are doing well. So definitely a bit more cautious. NASDAQ-related names after that 5-minute downtrend confirmed. All right, ticker requests. K-Web, so Chinese names. Red flag. So just a red flag in the sense that yesterday's hourly oversold did not mark the daily higher low after that sizable bounce. Still going to look for a daily higher low compared to 2637, but what this now opens the door for is a potential tightening daily range as opposed to what bulls would have been hoping would be continuation. So we have an hourly downtrend guide. Daily stair-step move up, daily stair-step drop, and we are rejecting from weekly resistance. So now it's just a question of when does the daily higher low get set, and do we see that equilibrium through the rest of July? RXRX daily inside bar at the moment. Hourly support from yesterday was 1286. We held that on the morning. Bulls need to break 1432 if we're going to see continuation. If the bears confirm a 5-minute downtrend, a daily inside bar then becomes very likely. Bulls need to regain the 5-minute uptrend to try and put that high of yesterday back in play. PINS, big gap up open into profit taking. So now we're going to scout an hourly higher low. The only level nearby is from extended hours, 29.90, which bulls would like to hold. And essentially just watching the 5-minute here. Do the bears confirm a downtrend? Do we head towards 5-minute oversold? We know the bulls have to regain a 5-minute uptrend if an hourly higher low is going to be set. Nice job getting over a resistance zone in the 29s. Definitely want to see that hold on a back test. If we do see daily consolidation, need to hold the 29's previous resistance now as support. QQQ trying to bounce. AI trying to set that 5-minute higher low. KRE just nonstop. Are we still in that 2-minute stair step? This is automated buying for sure. Again, 2-minute stair step can be a take a little profit signal for those that were a bit more aggressive in position sizing. Tan making another resistance attempt. Crypto stocks up at the high. Nope. Riot rejected. So Riot's tightening up. Checking back in on Bitcoin. Again, if you're trading the crypto stocks, you got to be watching Bitcoin. And it's testing. And Bitcoin is anticipating a 15-minute lower high as the most likely result of the current bounce. So got to keep that in mind. CCJ bulls trying here. So CCJ daily higher low is set. Big volume spike. Breaking the high of yesterday. So now our new benchmark support, 31.18 is a must hold. Again, it's the same setup. Can the bulls follow through to new decade highs? I've just got too many swing positions open. Otherwise, I would be interested in CCJ. I probably have more swing trades open right now than I've had in years. So the QQQ bulls are going to have to confirm a 5-minute uptrend if we're going to have any confidence that bulls can hold the low of yesterday. NVDA. So daily uptrend and daily stair step, it looks a lot like SPY and QQQ in that regard. So when we lose the daily stair step, we're going to look for a daily high or low, anything above 43.44. And as long as that daily uptrend is intact, bulls are in complete control. When we lose it, we'll zoom out and scout a weekly high or low watching EMA 12. Resistance zone here in the 44s. And technically we have broken them. We'll see if we get any follow through. F, big time drop the last couple of days. Bulls trying to get an hourly oversold bounce going. Pre-market resistance is 14.13. Bulls must confirm a 5-minute uptrend with a new high of the day for the hourly bounce to get going. I would call anything under the high of yesterday an hourly lower high, but have to confirm the 5-minute uptrend for the hourly bounce to be underway. I'm seeing it everywhere. Reject from resistance. Try for the high or low off EMA 12. GNRC. Nice start. A lot of space for a 5-minute high or low to form. Daily high or low is set. Nice tightening equilibrium here. So new key support, 141.92 is a must hold. And looking up at resistance, 151.17. AI 5-minute high or low is set at 38.90. Again, positioned well for any NASDAQ recovery. Solar sector got the bull break. That's a good sign. So if I had 8 octopus arms and 2 brains, I'd be in AI and CCJ as well, but just don't want to spread myself too thin. MARA is a lead crypto bull. It's stronger than Riot on the morning. New high of the day here. Riot is seeing the high of the day as well, but MARA just a bit stronger. And these crypto stocks are ignoring Bitcoin, which is pulling back the last 5 minutes. So they're working on daily higher lows. They have a lot of work to do. ADBE. 2 minute, 1 minute, 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 2 minute, So I'm viewing this as an hourly equilibrium from the last 2 days. And we're trying to set a higher low compared to 512.38. And bulls need to break 522.69, 523.78 for a bull break. So just a sideways 3-day range here. You can also watch the 4-hour as an equilibrium, a little bit more clear. If it breaks bear, daily consolidation will be underway to look for a higher low attempt. And if it breaks bull, then the daily stair step continues. LAC, daily uptrend continuation. So new higher low is 2027. We're testing 2163 resistance. 2164 is right behind it. So let's just say 2164 is the level we need to break to get to the highest level in 6 weeks. Monthly higher low trying to shape up, I think. Nope, not quite. Weekly. So the question from here is a weekly equilibrium most likely, or can bulls keep the daily uptrend going up towards 2332? ARKK still strong. Broke the high of yesterday. We're just looking at the high of this move, 50.43. Hourly uptrend is our guide. We can say the low of today is the hourly higher low. And now we've got that higher high. Real nice bounce on these crypto stocks. Very quickly up 4% plus. And Bitcoin is back to keeping its bounce going, so that's helping. KRE is something to behold. For an entire sector ETF to just 2-minute stair step. Well, I guess it broke by a couple pennies. 2 pennies, but again, this is, to me, this is automated buying. To not even touch 1-minute EMA 12 is very significant. And again, it's that cup and handle type of action where you just trigger a bunch of shorts covering. AI unable to break the high of the day. Little double top at the moment. If we pull back, the bulls must hold 38.90 to keep control overall. Noticed recently I got the MA on my RSI. That's by default. And now it's, there it is, yeah. It's by default. I didn't add that. It's just there. And I don't care enough to change it back. They just shifted their default. TradingView shifted their default RSI indicator. So I don't use it. Maybe someday I will, but it certainly doesn't distract me. Get back to tickers in just a second. Biotech sector, daily uptrend confirmed yesterday. Daily inside bar at the moment. Hourly higher low is now 85.73. If we were to fail the high of yesterday and break 85.73, actually 85.71, If we were to break 85.71, that would be a red flag of confirming an hourly downtrend. So bulls trying to make their way back to the high of yesterday to try and follow through from the daily uptrend confirming. Hourly uptrend hour guide. Also keeping in mind there's a good bit of space for a potential weekly lower high. But bulls keeping short-term control as long as the hourly uptrend is intact. NKLA found a bottom. Inside bar bull break. So we don't have any daily support nearby, so 199 is now a key short-term level. And 295 is resistance. Low of today. Key short-term support. Potential for a 4-hour equilibrium if we fail 295 and tighten up. But bulls have, well, we haven't officially confirmed a 5-minute uptrend, but bulls certainly have some short-term control on the morning. AI rejecting from resistance, trying a little bull flag on the 5-minute. Let's see if QQQ can confirm a 5-minute uptrend. AI wants to clear 40 psychological here to follow through on that new high of the day. CCJ looking good. 33 is the level to break for decade highs. Coming into play. KRE is not stopping yet. We know there'll be consolidation there eventually. Coin bulls with a big day. Look at that volume. High of yesterday, 109.48. Did break, so inside bar bull break. QQQ bulls definitely want to see this 5-minute uptrend confirm. And AI is going to be impacted by it. AI has that double top that bears are attempting to defend here. 40.29 must break. 40.25, 40.29. We just pulled back from just under those levels. When would I short IWM? If you're talking, I don't know if you're talking day trade or swing trade, but IWM is trying to break a 1-year monthly equilibrium bullish. If I were an aggressive day trading bear, I would short the 5-minute stair-step bear break and put a stop over the high and try and cover half into 5-minute consolidation to get risk-free. But again, we don't want to be shorting counter trends. We are in a weekly, daily, and hourly uptrend. So I would much prefer to look long on a 15-minute high or low than I would to try and nail a top. Metal's still strong. Let's check back in on the dollar. So dollar did get some continuation there, and it's a good sign that the metals are ignoring it. That's a great sign. If the metal bulls can ignore gold, let's try this again. If the metal bulls can ignore dollar bounces, that will show a lot of strength to be able to negate that inverse correlation. This is a pretty important battle here for AI. I do believe it's going to need help from QQQ confirming a 5-minute uptrend if AI is going to be able to break 40.29 resistance. CCJ still cruising. I'll get back to ticker requests in just a second. I want to see this AI battle. Tan. What's our next tan resistance? Gap fill 75.56. There goes AI testing 40.29. And there's the bull break. So that is the 2-day higher low. Being set. And it was all the hourly uptrend. KRE finally cooling off a little bit. We'll see what retracement looks like on that consolidation. Crypto names still strong as Bitcoin. Still with its 15-minute bounce. Still nothing very impressive out of Bitcoin. Microsoft. So Microsoft is testing the low of yesterday, and it's holding at the moment. So I take it back. We broke by 3 pennies, but we're right there. So it is an hourly downtrend. And we know that the hourly trend has to shift back into an uptrend for the daily higher low to be set. I'm watching EMA 12. That's my gauge where if that holds, the bulls remain within striking distance of the double top. If we lose it, then it's 50% plus retracement, and it's a more convincing rejection. OPUSDT, 4-hour tightening range, broke bull with 0 follow through. That's a little bit of a red flag there. Bulls must hold 1405 to keep the higher lows going. But you never want to break an equilibrium straight into consolidation. So that might be a 12-hour lower. No. Let's stick with the 4-hour higher lows as our guide. But it is possibly a daily lower high being set. If we were to lose the 4-hour uptrend, that would be the case. MOZ on the TSX. So gold name benefiting here, testing the high of yesterday. If we get over it, 92 is the next resistance. And then 92 and then 98 and 99. And little daily uptrend. So 85, our last little daily higher low. QQQ is still struggling at attempting to confirm this 5-minute uptrend. AI, nice follow through. Next resistance on AI, looking up at 41 and 41.68. Baba is trying to recover. Ways to go. Let's check in on our other AI name, PLTR. Some profit taking. 5-minute back burner, decent bounce. 15-minute equilibrium potentially shaping up. Watching to see if it starts to chill out and if AI starts to get some intra-sector rotation there. MARA with a monster 5% move off the low. Definitely getting a bit extended. Going to be watching for 15-minute consolidation there. Sooner rather than later. MNMD, so we're 45 minutes into the trading day and we're already we already are double yesterday's volume. EURUSD. So 4 hours still an uptrend as long as 112 holds. We are in an hourly downtrend. So battle for 112. You can see it's at double bottom. So that's the support. If we lose it, daily consolidation will likely be underway. If we hold it, then 4-hour EMA 12 will continue to hold as support as it has been for the last week plus. Bulls need to regain a 15-minute uptrend as the first sign that we can potentially hold that support level. AI beauty follow through. So AI will eventually need some 15-minute consolidation where we will look for the higher low. KRE is shaping up. There's that 5-minute stair step breaking, leading to a decent little pullback. Tons of space for the 5-minute higher low. IWM lost the 5-minute stair step. So we'll watch retracement sizes on this consolidation. QQQ still not a convinced. I mean, technically we did confirm a 5-minute uptrend, but only by a couple pennies right into a pullback. So now we have to zoom out and see if we're shaping up a 15-minute lower high. CCJ is still chugging along, now 1.5% away from decade highs of 33. Again, I lump CCJ in with commodities that benefit from a weak dollar, similar to the metals and miners. All right, things slowing down a little bit. Most important thing for me from here will be watching to see whether the NASDAQ breaks the low of yesterday or can the bulls confirm a 15-minute uptrend to confidently hold it. We're going to watch our consolidation retracement sizes on IWM, KRE, MNMD 5-minute higher low set, trying to make it back to the high of the day. New key support is 461. NVDA solid bounce from crushed 5-minute oversold, but again, 15-minute lower high is most likely, and NVDA looks like a short-term rising wedge is shaping up here. Every bull break is going straight into consolidation. This is a potential 1-minute rising wedge to mark a 15-minute lower high, and it had a 1-minute rising wedge mark a 15-minute lower high yesterday. If we get one more bounce here and head back up to that resistance, I'm going to watch for a potential bearish entry. ARKK up at the high of the day. The indicator that is on TradingView here is called Pivots High Low, and I change the setting to 5. HOOD. Bull's still keeping the stair step going. And currently an inside bar. Anything under 1285 would be an hourly lower high. But we are still in an hourly and daily uptrend. We would have to fail 1285 and break the low of today for the first indication of daily consolidation shaping up. Otherwise, bulls hold on just fine. And again, growth names are starting to pick up a little bit right now with ARKK at the high of the day. Bitcoin bounce is now big enough to scout a 15-minute higher low as the most likely result of next consolidation, so a lot more convincing double bottom with the low of yesterday. MDB, not sure about news. I don't follow this individual name, but I would be looking for a 15-minute lower high, anything under 427, and a tightening 15-minute range is the most likely scenario on the morning. Next resistance after that high, 472. Nah, there's something closer. 439. There's a resistance zone in the upper 430s. NVDA rising wedge. Trying to break bear here for the 15-minute lower high. VZ. Daily bounce trying to shape up. It's an inside bar. So held the low of yesterday and all bulls on the morning. On the verge of potentially seeing 15-minute consolidation. We'll look for a 15-minute higher low. And we will need to confirm an hourly uptrend for a daily bounce to get going. Anything under the high of yesterday is an hourly lower high. And then we'll look for an hourly higher low and an uptrend attempt on the hourly to try and shape up a daily bounce, where we will then zoom out and look for a daily lower high. So it depends on what time frame you're looking at here. It's either the 15-minute to look for a higher low, or you're on the hourly watching for a lower high and then higher low. So QQQ 15-minute lower high set, helping NVDA set that lower high. If I did get that NVDA short, I would be out. Let's see. I'd be out at least a third here and sticking my stop over that high of 462.70. So QQQ, bulls have to confirm a 15-minute uptrend if we're going to have confidence that the low of yesterday can hold. Otherwise, that's going to come into play. But again, we still have our other sectors holding on strong with XLV right up at the high of the day. So rotation is still going on. KRE 5-minute higher low is set at 45.08. MNMD 5-minute uptrend confirmed. $5 psychological resistance. If KRE confirm or loses that little 5-minute higher low, we'll zoom out and look for a 15-minute higher low. Any thoughts on Tesla earnings? So if I were to give you any opinion on Tesla earnings, it would be useless, worthless, and I'd be kidding myself to try and think that I have any kind of edge giving you that information. And I would suggest anybody on the internet, unless they are putting in literally 30 plus hours of fundamental due diligence, reading earnings reports, and turning every stone to try and get an edge, it's just a wild guess. Earnings are a coin flip, unless you're putting in massive amounts of due diligence. And even then, you can have people be right about earnings and then the opposite reaction to the earnings happens. I would suggest don't play earnings. If you have positions that have comfortable profit cushions, then you can hold through earnings and try for longer term swing trades. But I don't see any professional traders that have an edge trading earnings, making entries. There's different kinds of option strategies, and you can try and capture the volatility and things like that. That's a different story. If you're just making a bull or bear bet, you're gambling. There's no edge there. We as traders have to have an edge if we're going to come out ahead in the long run. AI pulling back more than the bulls want to see with the QQQ 15-minute drop there. Still a 5-minute uptrend, but starting to create space for a potential 5-minute lower high to be the result of the next bounce. So QQQ is dragging some things down. Just got to be aware, if QQQ starts daily consolidation, some things will be dropping with it. Looking like MNMD may be setting a temporary top. All right, I'm out of here. I appreciate you all tuning in. I'll be back in the chat room for Chart Guys members shortly. And for those of you that tuned in, again, don't forget the webinar is this Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you're interested in live streams like this, check out chartguys.com. Have a great rest of your day.